Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm chiming in with, I promise, well, I can't make any promises, but at least in this little stretch for this week, I think this will be the last words of encouragement, at least until the next time I do it, which won't be next video. I'm going to try and make tomorrow's different. But today I've been thinking about what I could chime in with today to kind of what I could add to the discussion of all these different things which I'm talking about. And today, something that's been on my mind, which I think would be pretty obvious to talk about, given the recent trend I've been on about different things about sort of workload. Really, we're sort of taking a day off, burnout, and I've talked about these different things. I want to dedicate a specific video to this. Because it's definitely something I've been thinking of today, and that's to know your limit. That's pretty important, I think, and definitely something that I want to dedicate a few minutes to here, if you've got the time for that, and you might find what I have to share on it a bit useful. The reason how this is really relevant to me right now is because, as I've already said in a previous video on this channel, and you can check that out if you scroll down a bit, the 2026 development video, sort of saying that 2026 has begun development, all the projects that I've got on the go for that, which is a shit ton currently, an awful lot. I'm not directly sort of overseeing, directly anyway, all of them. There will be other people directly overseeing some of them. I kind of I'm over the shoulder of the whole process, so I'm involved in all of them, obviously. But it's there's a lot of them will be completely directly overseen and produced by other people, of which I'm just sort of a consultant, really. But a lot of them I am producing myself. With that, it's not even just producing it; it's doing a lot of crafts-based things on it, such as writing and that sort of thing. I found that I'm committing to an enormous amount right now, and to do a good job on everything, time management is essential, and there is no room for error in terms of not completing a task on time. That becomes a bit of a problem, and I'm kind of screwed whenever I end up in a situation like that where I'm on the verge of burnout. It's like I'm pretty much set for the next week or two, and I'm screwed. Everything has to be essentially completed. But the second I find a gap to breathe a bit and to bring in a bit more free time, I exploit that for all it's worth and really try and give myself time to just recharge, which again is something that I spoke about over this weekend. The key thing to discuss here is about knowing what to put in your schedule in the first place, which I think kind of caps out the thoughts I've been saying pretty well, really. And that's sort of understanding your limit of what you're actually able to do in terms of workload, because it's a very important thing, not only as a student, but anyone, really, to know what your limits are, what you're actually capable of taking on. If you're a hard worker and you're a passionate worker, not getting ahead of yourself and knowing what it is that you're actually capable of doing, and not exceeding that limit, because not only will it decrease the quality of your work, but it will also mean that just for health reasons, your hands are too tied. You're pushing yourself far too hard, and you can be drowsy and fatigued far easier and a lot more often. So it's certainly something to keep in mind. It's to kind of elaborate more on why this is applying to me so heavily right now. It's because, for example, one project needs a lot of my time right now, primarily around 2025. So we are in the last few months of development on 2025 right now, making sure everything's perfect for the start of May, and also kind of just the rest of the year in general, just making sure pretty much everything's wrapped up in the next few months. That's what will make working very, very hard to try and pull off. I'm wrapping up 2025 while work on 2026 is very much starting to ramp up, and that is a very difficult task because I'm actively writing things for 2026 and working over people's shoulders on projects for 2026, whilst also being very much on the front line in 2025, still working and shooting on set with projects of this year as well. That is very hard, because if I want to do the projects that are getting shot right now well, I need to have my full care and attention to those. I need to pack my kit bag the night before. I need to be fully prepared for that. If I'm writing, I can't not miss the mark. I have to write what I'm supposed to within a given time, or at least a slight delay. I need to do it roughly within that time. Otherwise, things are going to start falling behind in terms of the grander schedule at play, because I need X, Y, and Z finished by the end of the month. It's about what I'm taking on. and that's something that I've really learned here that I'd like to apply to this discussion, that it might be helpful for people, is that I'm taking on a lot here on my own accord. And if I can fix that going forward, I will, in the sense of being very honest about what I actually have the time to commit to some, how much time I actually have to commit and how I choose to spend it. It's more about realizing how many hours you actually have to spend in terms of work, and how, like currency, how are you going to spend that? Because time is the most important thing here, and if you don't use it wisely, it's going to be to your detriment, not your benefit. So I very much be careful in terms of to any of you who have a schedule and are very, very passionate about it. Just look after yourself and don't spread yourself too thin, which is what I'm finding that I'm doing right now. And I'm going to try and get better at it as the weeks go on, and give myself more room to breathe, to complete tasks when and prioritize them, which ones need doing right now, and what can be saved till later, and then adjusting as time goes on. I certainly believe heading in deeper into development on 2026, I'll be taking on less responsibility with individual projects that I certainly think I'll be looking out to do, simply because I need to oversee the bigger picture rather than be on the ground and do crew rules. That is something I can very much see myself doing as time goes on, but either way, I'm just keeping myself in check and staying healthy, which is, if there's any takeaway from this video, I'd highly encourage you to do, and just look after yourself, as I've said. So that's it for this video. I hope these last few about this sort of similar theme have been helpful. That is it for this week on the channel, and if you like the kind of stuff that I'm doing, either these simple words of encouragement or other types of content in the different playlists in the channels, inside the channel homepage and that sort of thing, feel free to subscribe and join me on the journey here. But until next time, be kind, do your best, and always remember, you are enough. I'll see you next week, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.